Yo, what's good guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to Nightwing Knows. If you ever had a question and wanted to drop me a line, all you gotta do is shoot me an email right over here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the question.
While we're eating.
Daniel asks, what does a shoe mean when it has the name OG? For example, Jordan Retro 1 OG. So the OG labeling just means original, meaning that that version of the retro product is as close to the original version back in whatever year it originally released. So for example, this is the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG in the black toe colorway. There was a retro of this colorway previously, but it was in a mid and it was from Pack. It had a black tongue, it had a Jumpman logo on the tongue itself and on the heel. It looked nothing like the actual original version of the shoe from 1985. But this version, or this release, actually is very close to what originally dropped back then. They tried supposedly to get as close to the materials as well. I don't really buy that because I know for a fact that the leather back then was like 10 times better than what this is. But the entire shape, the look, materials and all that stuff, it's as close to the original as possible, even with little details like the Nike Air on the tongue. But that's pretty much all that means. So if you see that labeled on, you know, an Air Jordan 1 or an Air Force 1 or something like that, then all it means is that the overall look and shape and feel of the shoe is as close to the original product as possible. Whereas, you know, when you start to churn out like retros upon retros upon retros, you start to lose certain aspects that made the shoe what the shoe was in the first place, like chopping them down into a mid or a low top. The Air Jordan 1 is actually a really good example of that because they came out with the Air Jordan 1 Low, and those guys look nothing like the actual original Air Jordan 1 Low. And then just this year they came out with the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Retro, and those actually look like the whole shape and the panel placement and all that stuff. They look like the actual original Air Jordan 1 Low. So that's all it means. It's not a, you know, a big thing or anything, at least not in my opinion. Obviously when you put that OG label on there, hype is going to be increased because everybody's like, oh man, they're OGs. But you know, it's not a big deal in my opinion. Shoe's a shoe. I think that these Jordan 1 low tops look just as good as these ones, so it is what it is.